this video, we'll dial in the miter offsets. First, make sure you've calibrated the blade. And then on our screen, we'll go to the Setup function, but this time we'll choose Offsets. There's a few things we'll need to set before we run the miter program. We'll need to enter the material thickness. We'll need to input the information for the blade that we're using. And we'll need to choose a new program start location. We'll start with the material thickness. We have 1.19 inch thick material on the table from our last test cuts, which we'll use again. However, when we run the miter program, we want to make the material a little bit less than it actually is, so it has to remove some material from the surface for accuracy. I'm going to remove about 30 thou, or 0.03, from the surface. So I'll subtract the value here. The edge of my part should be 1.16 thick after I run the program. Next, we'll enter the parameters for our blade making a miter cut. I'm going to stay on the lower side of the feed rates to minimize deflection. And now we'll go find a location on the material where we can choose the bottom left corner of a 10-inch square and capture it before we go and start the program. This program will cut 4 miters, one on each side. But first, it will use the blade to mill the edge of the part to the thickness that we set earlier. When the program's finished, we'll remove the part. We'll have to use a tool because the left side purposely is not cut quite all the way through to hold our part securely into place. Now we can measure the part. From left to right, it is 10.013, and from top to bottom, it is also 10.013. We'll enter these values into the miter offset calculator. Dimension for X was 10.013, and the dimension for Y was 10.013. And then we can choose the Calculate and Set button, and then if we accept the value, we'll see that it's input into our miter offset, which completes our miter calibration. Thank you for choosing Park Industries.